Hello everybody, I'm John Evans and you're watching another episode of Mid-Mod Money, the show that teaches you how to buy and sell vintage items for a profit. Thanks for watching. Happy Monday. Happy to have you in my basement for the next 10 minutes or so, and you're going to see some incredible vintage treasure like we do every week. Incredible vintage treasure like this unusual squiggly lined 1960s vase. And before I go any further, if you ever buy anything with these little flowers, they have to be completely mint in perfect shape. You do not want this if anything is chipped, because they made too many of them. It's not that spectacular. But the first thing, it's a non-starter if they're not in perfect condition. So this was $1 at Christian Crossing, and just a weird, buy the weird. We talked about this last week. This is unusual, not my cup of tea, but someone will pay $15 to $20 for that vase. So it is the day we find out who wins the vintage giveaway. Today's the day. 65 subscribers commented to win this paperweight. And we find out through the miracle of the Mid-Mod Money prize wheel. 65 of you who subscribed commented. So at the end of the episode, you'll find out who wins. So let's get to that. And we're going to start by just getting on with this thrift store haul. Unusual in that there's a few things in here that I wouldn't normally buy, but the price was just too good to pass up. This is not one of those things. I found this beautiful amber pitcher, and this is the top end of what I will pay. $5 cash. This is $5, and it's worth about $22, $23. This amber color is kind of still, although this is a lighter version, almost yellow. I don't know who made this. Federal Glass, maybe. I don't know, but it's worth about $22, $23. I paid $5. This next thing I was excited to find because I've sold it before. And sold it for about $35. And what it is, you can just read it. 3-piece solid brass butterfly set. Now, if you've never seen one of these, they're actually pretty cool. Never found one in the box. I've only had one that I sold in my booth. And they are these butterflies, these brass butterflies that kind of sit on they stand. These have never been opened. There's 3 of them. A mama and 2 babies, perhaps. But I sold these for like $32, $35 for all 3. And they have these little antennas. And I guess, I don't know if you're supposed to bend it to open it like this. But yeah, I guess over time, maybe they just kind of, very cool. I expect to get about $30 for these. I paid $1. I mean, that's insane. It's $29 profit to you and me. All right, next thing I found, speaking of high profit, I found this at my Goodwill, my local Goodwill, and this was $3, $3, and I looked in there, and what I saw were these little figures with the felt bottom. Anybody know what these guys are? I knew almost instantly when I started looking at them. These are chess pieces. But not just, you see this, what is that, a rook? Got maybe a queen there. And they're hand-painted. I don't know where they're from. Could be Russian. But there are 32 in all. Rook, bishop, I don't know which, pawn, horse. What do they call the horse? I don't even know. I don't play chess. But here's what I do know. A chess set, pieces like this, hand-painted, will sell for about $50. So I need to find a nice wood chessboard, and you can find those with no pieces for about $5. And I will pair these chess pieces. Yeah, they're beautifully done. I will pair this with a chessboard, and I will sell the collection for $50. I paid $3 for these. Again, pure profits. Nice to have a booth at an antique mall. All right. Now, this is where we get to the part where, gee, I don't really collect this thing, but I know I can make some money here. And I used to be really hard-lined about it has to be 100% vintage, has to be really stuff that I would like to have all the time. And then I saw my fiance and her booth, and every once in a while she would find something newer that was quirky and weird, and she'd say, hey, you know that raccoon thing that I found? Yeah, it sold in my booth for $36. And I was like, wait, it blew my mind. And so I started looking at this a little differently. I mean, the name of this show is Mid-Mod Money, but I do have 2 booths at antique malls. One's an indoor flea market, so the stuff has to be diverse. And when I find things that are somewhat old, here's what I found. I was at a place called Junkin' Stuff, a store here in Oakland, Maryland, and a guy had about 5 of these statues. These resin, hard, and on the bottom it says like Red Mill Manufacturing, right? When you eBay this, one of these has sold on eBay for $24.95 plus like 10, 11 shipping. So $35. Someone shelled out $35. Now I was in Junkin' Stuff, and this guy had 5 of this kind of statue from this company. And I was only interested in the buffalo. I know that the buffalo is going to sell. I like animals, right? So I said, how much? $5 a piece, he says. $5 each. There's a ram. Perfect condition, too. There's a dang old wolf. Get you a wolf. Get you a buffalo. Get you a wolf. Then they got what I can only assume is Davy Crockett and his pet bear. 5 apiece. But he goes, hey, if you're interested, you can have all of them for $15. And again, this is not the stuff that I collect, but I also recognize that if I sold this for $20, I've made my money back and everything else is pure profit. If I sold each one of these for $15, I would make $60 off of these statues. And $60, if you can find a less intrusive way to make $60, I'll listen to you, but I don't think it's possible. So, a lot of profit there just because I was willing to go outside of my comfort zone. Well, let's go back into my comfort zone, which is, I don't know, glass. Look at this. I paid $8 for this, and it's crystal. Crystal blue persuasion, my guy. This was $8. $8, and it's worth about $50. This is a crystal liquor decanter like this in an unusual shape with a very nice top, no chips, no cracks. $50. I just made 42 American dollars. Next thing I found also at Christian Crossing, and I found it at the same time. Someone must have given up their drinkware collection because this ice bucket was $3. $3 for a glass ice bucket of this quality. And I gotta say it, with tongs. It's got the tongs in there. So, this is not worth as much as the decanter. It's not crystal, it's glass. And it's worth about $30. $35 off of 3. And it's beautiful. And even the lady who checked me out did a double take. I don't think she could believe that they only put $3 on this because that is absurd for something that nice. All right, we're down to our last item. Then we're going to see who won the paperweight. Again, sometimes making money, buying and selling is not sexy, but you know, it's like a job, like any other job. I was in the textile, I guess, section, cloth, textile, blankets of my local Goodwill. And I found 2 of these. And tell me if you'd recognize what this is. Two for $4 in almost perfect condition. I mean, these are vibrant. The colors are vibrant. This is from the 1960s. These are butterfly chair seat covers. You know the butterfly chairs with the metal frame? Kind of uncomfortable to sit in. 2 vintage butterfly chair seat covers. And I can assure you, there are people with the frames who would absolutely love to have the vintage. Look at this tag. It's so faded and old and thick and weird. This is 1960s butterfly chair original seat covers, and they probably will sell for at least $50, but they could sell for $80 for the pair. I'm going to put them on eBay to see what happens. I'm going to ask $80, I think. And someone with butterfly chairs and a sunroom who wants a vintage look, you could look forever. Trust me, there is not any of these on eBay right now. You could look forever and not find this pattern of a butterfly chair seat cover. Good that I caught it. I might, I don't always check the textiles, but I did that day and it paid off. So what did I do? I spent $41 when it's all said and done through my boots. eBay, heck, maybe some Facebook Marketplace. I'm looking at $358 off of 41. That's pretty good. And you can do it too. Keep watching my program. And let's see, everybody, it is now time to see who wins the paperweight. Thanks for watching. Good luck out there. Good luck out there. I want you to win. I really do. Come on. Come on. Undercover yard sale. You have won. Congratulations, Undercover Yard Sale. You have won the coveted paperweight, courtesy Mid-Mod Money. Email me, midmodmoney, Gmail, and give me your address. I'll send this to your front door. Thanks for watching, everybody. Keep thrifting. Good luck out there. And remember, always round up.